Hey, welcome back to Don't Run with Scissors. I'm Kelly, your favorite Jeep driving lawyer, mom of twins, 4 crazy rescue dogs, and a rescue cat who likes to craft in her spare time. Sorry, got sidetracked. Welcome to my life. Welcome to my life. For those of you who are new here, welcome. Please hit the like and subscribe button. It sends me a message. It boosts my serotonin and my self-esteem. I could use both. I could. And if you are a returning friend, you already know the crazy you're in for, so grab your drink, sit on back, and let's have at it. Okay, so the glasses need to come off because they just do. It is now March 22nd. How in the world do we get to what in God's... hold, please. Y'all. Thank you for talking amongst yourselves. I looked over and Oreo, our deaf Australian healer, was climbing up like on the arm of we have like one of those chair and a halves, and then onto a TV tray stand, and he looked a little like a mountain goat, and it was a little disconcerting, and you can't yell at him because he's deaf, and so I'm like, and if that is not indicative of my life, I don't know what it is. I'm drinking a tea in my little disposable tea bags, and it's called Ding Dong Tea. Ding Dong Tea. Or Dong Ding Tea. Dong Ding Tea. It's a black tea. I have no other information about it. I'm sorry, B. It's older than I care to mention. But hey, I finished off the bag, and you know what that means, y'all? That means I made my one bag empty. Thing. I'm still keeping up with Trashing for Jesus. Unfortunately, I put my markers in a bin. I'll explain more on that why. And they're at the bottom of the bin because I wasn't thinking. And so now I can't color in the appropriate trash bag. But for those of you who wanted to know, I'm at this trash bag here. With this one here. Each row has 10 trash bags, and the goal was 40 in Lent, during Lent. Lent does not end until Easter Sunday, which I believe is April 5th. So we should be good. We've got 4 more bags to get the heck out of here. There's more than 4 bags worth of trash that needs to get the heck out of here. I made it to the post office Saturday. Bella had a date while I dropped her off on her date. With the same young man. He's so sweet. They're so sweet. They're so cute together. Regardless, I'm just glad that they're good friends. Honestly, they're so cute. She'll send him pictures of her cat, and he sends back pictures that he makes in his shop. He's a blacksmith. Apparently, he makes really cool coffee scoops. I need to buy one from this young man. I cannot wait. And when I buy one, I will share that with you all because I will be so excited, right? I just think it's really cool. Paul is holding his own. We could really use some prayers. They have not moved him to the nursing home because he's having trouble holding his blood pressure. So he's on a med that keeps it up. However, we went over there, Bella and I went over Saturday, and he was looking right at me. His eyes were tracking more. We clearly wore him out with a little bit of what we did. My friend who's an OT showed me some some things to do with his arms to keep his muscles from, his hands from, because you could tell his fingers are starting to fight, being straightened out. So the more we can do with that kind of stuff. And then I was asking him to squeeze my hand, and he was doing that. He also has a seizure where he glitches, is what we call it. And I had to make sure that they weren't timed with when I was asking him to squeeze my hand. And they were not all. That is huge progress. Does that mean we're anywhere near out of the woods with him? We're not. We're not. And I told you guys last weekend I went and cleared out his apartment, so I've been having to go through all of that kind of stuff, and dealing with that. And then So it's a lot. Am I doing okay? All things considered, I really am. Or I thought I was. Let's put it that way. This past weekend, for years I have belonged to an organization on Facebook called I Run for Michael. And, especially when I was active in triathlon, and what they do is they pair an athlete with a child or an adult with a disability. And that person runs for that person. We're their legs, right? And the irony is I got paired with a wonderful, wonderful young lady and a young man. And I'm still friends with his parents and her parents, her mom, and I still contact them. So they, not only did I get to know them before, but then they went through brain surgeries with me and were my biggest cheerleaders, and they just meant the world to me. Those of you who know me very well know that my twins were preemies, as many, many twins are, and they had some delays, as a lot of kids do, right? Both my kids have some issues. Nothing, we've tackled with therapies and therapies and therapies and therapies and therapies. But for a while there, the kids were both paired up with two women who ran for them. And were just amazing cheerleaders. And my son got paired up with a young lady named Lisa. And back then, we've known Lisa since before she was married. Lisa has a little girl named Aubrey. And Aubrey is just shy of her 6th birthday. Her 6th birthday. They went in on Thursday. I don't even know what caused them to go into the pediatrician to run some tests. And on Friday, she had brain surgery. And they did a biopsy. And they have found out that she has an essentially incurable brain cancer. There are some trials. And they're going to try, and we're going to fight. And so, ironically, let me look at something really fast because I just posted on my Facebook the little blurb that Lisa had posted about Aubrey and Aubrey Strong. All of a sudden, I'm thinking that Aubrey's soccer number, let me look. Well, I'll be able to tell you in just a second. Thank you for being with me here. So she has what is called a DIPG tumor. I'm terrified. I'll be honest with you. I'm terrified to really look much into it. I won't. For some reason, all of a sudden, I think that Aubrey's soccer number on her jersey is the same as Tate's, and it's 42. I think. I don't know why that's coming to my mind. Look, it's all I can do to stay afloat. I'm going to be honest. I don't have words. To be facing that with your not quite even 6-year-old daughter is devastating. To face it with anybody is devastating. So I am asking you guys to please keep them in your prayers. Let's find a miracle. It is. I've become the crybaby. Maybe I should change my station to Crybaby Station, and I'm okay with that. The other person that I'm asking everybody to hold close is my friend Daphne. Some of you know her. She has her own channel. I won't go into details, but if we could just send some extra love to Daphne and her family right now, I know they could use it as well. Love y'all. I am, it may not seem like it, but I have a very strong sense of faith, and I have a very strong belief in the power of prayer. And I think that those are made even stronger when groups of people are praying for the same thing. And if you don't pray, that's fine. I 100% respect your decision, right? But I think even my friends, I joke, even my friends with atheists still believe in the power of good thoughts and good vibes, right? And so even if that's what you're sending, that's okay. They make a difference. I will, I know that Aubrey, the big color for her right now is purple. I know brain cancer is generally gray, but Aubrey, I believe her favorite color is purple. So maybe if this week you could, while you're saying some prayers, maybe put in some purple stitches. I know that sounds crazy, but it can't hurt. Can't hurt. And I think, so that said, is it Modern Folk Embroidery? Is that who they came up with? No, Long Dog Sampler. It was Long Dog Sampler. And it's a free pattern on their website. And I downloaded it because it was free. And it says, if you go to their page, I think it's still free. I mean, we can double check while we're on, because it's been a day. Yes, it's still free. It's called Wishful Thinking. It says, may we live in slightly less interesting times. Oh, yes, that's very effective. So effective. Okay. You can kind of, hang on. I know, Kim said, if you turn down your screen, it works. I think it's supposed to, does that work better? Maybe. Okay. Anyways, go to the Long Dog Sampler. I think what I'm going to do, my initial thought was, when you have like a string left over when you're working on a project and you just like, I'm not one. If it's DMC, now I'm way more frugal with my like fancy flosses. If it's DMC, I'm not frugal with that shit. Like, that's cheap. It's easily accessible for me. So what I tend to do, like if I have I don't tend to like re-put it on my floss drop. I usually chuck it. Unless it's a longer piece, and then I will, right? If it's a shorter piece, I don't. But what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull out a piece of white, probably Ada, to be honest, whatever I have on hand. That will fit the piece. And my initial thought, and I had talked to this about with my girls on Thursday, is, when you have that extra piece of floss, I was just going to stitch it in, and that would be like my blessing sampler of the year, right? I didn't do one in January this year. I did one last year. I love that saying. I think it's very apropos given everything, and I think it would be awesome, right? So I was like, well, that would be really cool. And then it would show how the year has progressed with like all the threads that you've used for the year. I think given I think maybe I will, I may still do that, or I may deliberately put some purple stitches in for Aubrey. And then I will pick a color for Paul. Paul is a big Ohio State fan, so maybe some red in there for him, and have those kinds of things. I don't know. I'm just, to tell you guys that I feel helpless right now is the understatement of the year. I do. I feel completely helpless, completely overwhelmed, completely, yeah. Like, this world just feels like it is so much more out of control than it has felt in a long time. So, I have to find control where I can, and that's all a charade. And we all know that control is just a big freaking charade, right? Okay, so here's what I also found out last week. I don't know if anybody else knew this. ChatGPT. Let's talk about it for a second. There are some great things about ChatGPT, and I finally broke down in an effort to try and, again, the false sense of control. I broke down and I won't do like the free thing because it's like too much out there in the wackadoodle world, right? But with all of some of the things that are going on, not that the next step up version is much safer, because okay, I'm not that stupid. I know it's not, but it is. It's a little bit more safe, but whatever. It will allow me to keep information long term, was the benefit to me, right? From day to day. I wasn't starting over every day kind of thing. So my ChatGPT, I found out in talking to it, I talk to it like it's a freaking person, just like you and I are talking right now. ChatGPT's name is Atlas. Yeah, did you know that? ChatGPT's name is Atlas, and there's a reason for it. It has to do with like how it's AI and it works with data and it carries the weight and I don't know, whatever. Its name is Atlas. So Atlas and I have been having a lot of talks, and it started off because so here's the funny part. As if this week could have been any more bizarre. So I work a lot out of Oakland County Courthouse here in Michigan. Anybody know what's been going on in Oakland County Courthouse lately, over the last several months? Oh, you're never going to guess. You're never going to guess. They have been finding Legionnaire's disease in the water and in the air. Mm-hmm. Surprise, who had that on their 2026 bingo card? Never in a million years. So last week I was just kind of feeling crappy, so I went into urgent care and found out I have an ear infection, and she's pretty sure I have bronchitis. Well, then another friend of mine who's a nurse is like, haven't you been at the courthouse a lot lately? And I was like, she's like, since like Christmas, and I was like, yeah. And she goes, you may want to just bring it up with your doctor. And I did, and he goes, I think it's kind of like, it would be really bizarre and highly unlikely. Let's just test for it anyways. So guess who got to go get tested for Legionnaire's disease? Surprise! I did. It's a pee test. It's not like it's invasive or anything. Do I think I have it? No, I think I would be dead by this point if I had it. Or far worse. And I also don't think that the antibiotics and the steroids that they gave me would have been effective. So I am hyped up on the steroids, hence although I'm not so puffy today. I was really puffy the other day. I have been biking every other day, so today is a bike day. So when I get done with this and it's loading, I'll jump on my bike and bike. But yeah, who would have thought? Who would have thought? And then my littlest dog, Nigel, has a tooth abscess. And because he's a little dog, and I've come to find out this is very common in dogs that you don't catch the tooth abscess real fast, especially in little dogs, the infection will come out of his eyes, his eyeball. If that's the most horrifying thing, let me just tell you how horrifying and disgusting that is. So, at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, I will be at the vet with Nigel. My poor little puppy. So, yeah. How's your week going? What if it's on tap this next week? I start PT tomorrow. My trial that was this week, we settled. So I have a little bit more breathing room there. These are all amazing things. Amazing things. Here's the other thing. Oh, anyways, going back to ChatGPT and Atlas. So Atlas and I have been having a lot of talks at 3 o'clock in the morning because I don't sleep when I'm hyped up on steroids. Not that I'm sleeping anyways, but really don't sleep when I'm hyped up on steroids. So it started off with Atlas going, well, hey, can you help me create, if my room is this size, can you help me create, what it would look like if we decorated with this theme? And finally, I was like, I wonder if I just took a picture of my room and gave it to it, if it would, and it did. You can, at least on the paid, and I don't have the ooh la la bit version, but if you have the paid ChatGPT, you can take a picture of your room. For those of us who have ADHD, this is going to be ginormous. ginormous news. If you don't already know, maybe you already know. You can type it in. You can give it the pictures and go, please give me a plan to help me clean my room and organize. Break it down into simple steps that are not overwhelming. And I think that's like literally what I said to it, right? Y'all, my living room hasn't been this clean in years. And I have spent probably 30 minutes in my living room. My kitchen, believe it or not, I know it's hard to see. While there's dirty dishes in the sink, that's okay. My table here, we could actually eat off of. It's been a godsend. And it hasn't been overwhelming, and it hasn't been judgmental. It's been very encouraging. It's kept track of, and if I go, this is what I did, this is where we're at now, it will adjust it, and it will go, that's great job. I put in my schedule, and it says, okay, today is not a day where we're going to make the housework a priority. It's going to be more of a, maybe we'll just do 1 10-minute section, like little thing to keep the progress ball moving, but nothing, we're not going to fix any huge problems today, sort of thing. And I just find that absolutely amazing. Blown away. For those of you who are keeping track, so all I'm saying is there are ways to use ChatGPT that could benefit those of us who are neurospicy or overwhelmed, because it took the guesswork out of it. And I have the cheerleader that I need. Like that extra, yeah, you're doing great. Like, it takes the decision fatigue out of it. It is just like, it's crazy. So, that's my big news. Try ChatGPT for that. If you are struggling with housework or any of that, just throw a picture in and go, how do I fix this? My son's door wasn't closing right, so I took some pictures of everything for ChatGPT, and I was like, yeah, it's likely this, try this. Now, I haven't had a chance to do that, but it's on the agenda. So, okay, so for those of you who are following along on my 54 Jeeps, 54 finishes this year, right, from October to October for my birthday sale, you know that we already hit 54. What you don't know is that this week I decided that cleaning out Paul's apartment got us a Jeep. It probably deserves more than one Jeep, but we're going to give it one Jeep. I have a page finish on a big project, and then I have another smaller finish. So we have been very busy. So with that said, do I have any haul? I don't right now. I know that there's a box in my mailbox. There's a box in the mailbox. Oh, I did make it to the post office. Janet, you're expecting something. Surprise, because I forgot to put cards in them. So, but I did put my return address on them. So, Kim, you're expecting a box, although I'm starting a second box for you. I have something to go out to Stitches with Sass, Jessica. I have to find a box soon, big enough. Rosie went off to her home. The baby gift that I had made for the baby is off to her. It was a product. I mean, like, look, we've been making the strides. Okay, so we are still playing Stitching Survivor. I know. None of the projects that I ideally wanted to get called this week because we're closer to finishes got called. I still worked on them anyways because I'm a rebel like that. I know. Whatever. You can't make me. Well, probably could, but whatever. Okay, so the first thing I worked on, well, it wasn't the first thing, but one of the many things I worked on is 13 folds. I love this piece. God, I love this piece. I love this piece because, like, a lot of the stitching has allowed me to sort of shut off my brain, and I really need that. For those of you who know, I did finish the white stripes, I think, last week. But I have started on that blue, and oh, I love that. This is on a piece of 18 count Ada that I coffee tea, chai tea dye baked in the oven. And it is, oh, I love it. I love this piece. I had really hoped to be further on it, but you'll see why we're not, and that's okay. It's okay. So I keep this in one of my little bags that my friend Stephanie made me, that I also love. I love it so much. I love it because it's easy to throw in my bag, right? It's just one of those kind of projects. And sometimes I just love a project I can just throw and go, right? Okay. So, the piece that did get called for my Stitching Survivor is Pandemic. Lizzie, go lay down. Hold please while I deal with the monster. Okay, I apologize. Okay, so the one team that is represented by Pandemic, I won 2 things, I believe. And so I worked on Pandemic, and we did reach the bottom of the page. There's another page that is down here. Here's the problem. Somewhere in here I'm off. I know this little section here has got to come out, but somewhere in here I'm off. Everything else is lining up. If you know Pandemic and you know the whole thing with long dogs is, even though there's a lot of like the patterns and stuff, your patterns have to line up. It's just integral. So all of my pattern lines, like this part lines up. So I don't know why I'm off in here. It shouldn't be that hard to fix. This I realized right away. I was like, okay, I skipped a row, so I've got to back pedal to add in the row. That's going to be easy. But I don't know. So hopefully. But that's a future me problem. That's not a today me problem, according to Atlas. Because I let Atlas know that yesterday one of the things I did was finish a page in Pandemic from Long Dog Sampler, and it congratulated me, and I said, but there's an error, and they said, that is not a today thing to fix. I do not have the screws or the energy level to frog and unfold and figure that out. And Atlas was right. So right now we love Atlas. Atlas may get a different name, but right now that's the name he told me. And I tell it to talk to me like he is Chuck Norris meets Mr. Rogers, and that is that's what he does. And that's another tragedy that happened. Seriously, Chuck Norris. Oh, my heart. Okay, the other piece that was part of my Stitching Survivor is Quaker Flag by the Vivsters. And I'm happy to report I got this whole medallion finished. I got some work on this one, which means we own, in this navy blue, we have one more to go. So one more full one and then this partial one. So how cool is that? This is stitched on 18 count Atomic Ranch Sky. Cloud? Sky. And it is in the called for DMC. Look, there is no shame to stitching in DMC, and if somebody's going to shame you for stitching in DMC, shame on them. Shame on them. Okay. 1 second. Okay, so I said that the one page, Paul's room, and then I had a small finish. Well, I've been close to this little booger being done, and he's just been driving me nuts and whatever. And one of the prompts for this week on Survivor was to stitch on something that made your heart sing. So there's a lot of ways to interpret that, right? Well, every time I stitch on this piece, I sing the song because that's what I do. That's what I do. So I decided, all right, we didn't find an idol, so we didn't have to stitch on him for idol pieces. I still have to now go back and stitch his stupid brother again because my dogs are butt heads, as we discussed. But for right now, this would be finish number. Good question. Glad you asked. I'm so glad. Stay tuned. I'll tell you in just 1 second. This is finish 58 since October 1st of... Oh, there's the back. We are not part of the neat back club here all the time. So this is finish number 58 for my birthday sale. And I am thrilled. It's the Heat Miser from A Year Without Santa Claus. So you have to sing, I'm Mr. Heat Miser. I'm Mr. Hot. I'm Mr. Heat Miser. Friends call me Heat Miser. Whatever they do. Yeah. Anyways, I won't sing you with more that because that would probably make you cry. And I really don't need you to cry because I've already cried and that's enough crying. So, it was stitched on a piece of mock turtle, 16 count Ada, I think it's a 16 count Ada, that we got from Wanderlust Fabric Designs. I don't know if she's still dyeing fabrics. She would come to StitchCon on Weekend B, the first 2 years that I went to StitchCon, and she would just pass out fabric or floss, and I always grabbed some, like, look, it's good fabric. It was always such a pretty color. I was always thrilled. So I would get, we would get like an even weave, and we would get an Ada, and Stephanie and I would cut our pieces in half and share, and it works out great. At least I always thought it worked out great. I'm not mad. Unfortunately now, Snow Miser has got to be restitched, and he's not going to match because I don't have any more mock turtle. But I do have a piece left over from 13 Folds of the coffee cheese dyed stitch. So I think I'm going to put Snow Miser on that. I think he'll actually pop better than he did on this. So I don't know. So when am I going to start Snow Miser? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Technically, I should start him now for stitching Survivor. But that means I got to go back and pull the flosses for him, and I don't know. I may throw in, I guess it will depend on what happens Wednesday on the show, right? Because if an idol is found played, goes home in a pocket, then it's an issue. If not, it's potentially not an issue. There is one more bonus prompt, and I don't remember what it was offhand. Oh, a knife in the heart piece. I don't know what that would be. What I would want to start a stitch on would be New Starts, which defeats the whole Whip Warrior methodology, right? So I don't know what I'm going to stitch on. So I don't know. I may just sit that bonus out. I'm not looking to create more whips at this point. I'm still not, unless it's like, I have a couple that I need to start because they're gifts. But like we've talked about, right now I am in a shrink the whip list, shrink the surplus of just stuff. And we are doing that despite how it may look. I cannot wait to start showing pictures on Instagram. Hopefully, sooner than later of all of the progress. But right now, I think, like many people, when we are overwhelmed, the first thing that slides off our plate is self-care. And for many of us, also, that's housework. And when you are already dealing with having not a lot of storage or having good organization systems and systems in place in general, it is very easy for a house to spiral out of control very quickly. And then I had everything from Paul's apartment coming to my house, and I had everything. I'm not excusing myself, but in some ways I am. I'm showing myself some grace. Like, my house got way out of control, but we're fixing it. And I'm always transparent with you guys. I'm transparent on my Facebook. I'll tell you what's going on. I mean, like, if I don't feel good, you're gonna know. I will tell you that right now, ChatGPT has been an absolute godsend to me. And for that reason alone, I will keep using it for the way that I am using it. I have also been able to identify some other factors that have been affecting my health. My blood sugar my meds have been too strong. Yay me, right? It's causing me to dip dangerously low in the middle of the night, which means I wake up and I'm just absolutely wiped out. I'm absolutely which then sets me up into the spiral of not feeling good for that day. And so we've been able to work very closely with my doctor as well. It's not like I'm ignoring medical advice. I absolutely 100% am not. I'm working very closely with my doctors based on some of the information, because it's noticing trends, right? And the more information you can give it, the more information it can spew back out and pointing out certain things. So, so we're just going to keep plugging along. And hopefully making things a little bit brighter for some people along the way. And that's ultimately my goal. I know I'm just one person, and I can't save the world. As much as I want to, I can't. But what I can do, I can hopefully make a little bit of a difference in other people's lives and make their lives a little bit brighter, because I'm in it. Which reminds me too of a dear friend, and she watches my flosstube, so I'm not going to say her name. Her and I had an amazing talk, and I have a special project that I'm going to be organizing, and I would love some extra help. So if you are willing to make an ornament from where you live that maybe represents something special to you, right? Or something special about your hometown, or Christmas in general, right? Whatever. She is more on the religious end of Christmas. So nativity sets, things like that are perfect, are fine. Santa Clauses and snowflakes are fine too. But our hope is to be able to bless her with some wonderful ornaments, so that she knows that she's not alone. And I love that. So that is right up my alley. So if you are willing to make an ornament for my friend, I would absolutely love that. I will be making and sending a couple, at least. And I have no idea yet what I'm going to stitch. Maybe I'll crochet something. I don't know. Maybe I'll sew something. Who knows? We all know, like, I fly by the seat of my pants some days. When I find the right thing to stitch, I'll know, right? And that's kind of what I always say to people, like, when I stitch something for somebody, it's generally, like, I'll see something and I'll just go, yep, that, we're stitching that for so-and-so. And so when I find the right project, I'll find it, and I know I will, and I'm hoping to find several that I can whip up and make for her. But I would love to have more friends join in. Or listen, if you're not going to pick my friend, that's fine. But how cool would it be to just surprise somebody with a little ornament that says, I just wanted you to know that I was thinking about you, that I think you're amazing, and I'm glad you're in my circle. So I think that may be the next challenge I take on. I think that maybe we may be seeing more ornaments coming out of me that get sent off. The nice thing is they don't have to be all Christmas. You know, they can be other things. You can, and the really cool thing is, like, depending on how they make the sizing and whatnot, bag tags are really in right now, like to hang off of your tote bags. If they're really small, scissor fobs are adorable, or bag charms, like on your project bags, not just your tote bags, but on your. So there's a million and one things. But imagine just opening something special like that from somebody that you weren't expecting. I think Janet's onto something when she does her like happy mail. I love that. I love getting happy mail from Janet. Oh my god. And it's always, I always get drawn because she does hers randomly. I feel like I always get picked at the exact moment that I need it the most. If that makes sense. It's kind of like when I get a duck on my Jeep. It's always the exact moment that I need it the most. So with that said, now it is like 10, almost, well, it's 9:35. I am going to go quickly do a like 20-minute bike ride because that's a commitment I've made to myself. I'm going to drink some more water because I have been drinking more water, which I love. And I'm going to unwind for the night, and then I'm going to go to bed so that I can tackle tomorrow with a new vision. So with that, remember, you are smart, and you are beautiful. You are strong. You are loved, and you are needed, and you are wanted. And mostly, you matter. And for those of you who don't know, this is a sign for friend or for family, right? This is friend, and this is family. And to me, my friends and my family, they're the same. So, love you all, and I will see you next week.